For over a year, I watched from the sidelines. I've seen the clips, the trailers, the tweets. Black Myth Wukong looked like the future, but I could not play it. That is until now. As an Xbox player, I've been wanting to get my hands on this game, not just because of the hype, but because this is something different. Now that it's finally here, I'm diving in head first. No reviews, no walkthroughs, just me and the myth itself. So the question is, was this game worth the wait? Let's back it up a bit. If you're on Xbox like me, you already know the pain. Black Myth dropped on PC and PlayStation first, and it was everywhere. Every time I opened YouTube or TikTok, it was right there in my face. I couldn't escape it. I was trying to avoid the spoilers. I didn't want to have anybody spoil anything for me because I knew that given some time, I would eventually be able to play this game. But overall, it was simply unavoidable. But based on the clips that I did see, it did seem like it would be an immersive world. It did seem like it would be jam-packed with bosses, fights, and stylish fighting. And it was something that really had me excited. Combat looked fast-paced. It looked like it had some real heavy kung fu vibes. It seemed like something that would really change the game, and it's something that was deserving of Game of the Year. And now that I finally got to play it, it hit me differently. From the moment I stepped into this world, everything felt ancient, everything felt authentic, but everything felt violent. Now this game is based on a story called Journey to the West. Now this story has influenced some of the biggest anime out there. You might have heard of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. Yes, even the late great Akira Toriyama was influenced by this story. Now, even though Dragon Ball had its own style and its own flavor added to it, it seems like Black Myth Wukong was really staying true to the story itself, following the Monkey King Sun Wukong. And from the visual aesthetics of this game, the set pieces, and all the environments, it seems like game science really nailed it on that end. Through this game, I got to see amazing set pieces and beautiful vistas during my meditations. From green lush forests to rocky desert environments, this game is simply gorgeous. And the vibe that this game has really exceeded every expectation that I had for it. The power of fantasy that you experience playing the Destined One as you go on your adventure is something that grabs you from the start of the game and never lets go. I embarked on my journey on Xbox Series S, so I was on the lower end of the spectrum when it came to specs. But even with that being the case, this game did not fail to impress me. Understandably, there was some popping with some of the environmental effects, but even that wasn't enough to destroy the experience for me. But that just covers the world of this game. Let's talk about the combat. Combat in Black Myth Wukong is more of a dance than a brawl. Not only did it look flashy and look powerful, it has a mix of simplicity and complexity at the same time. Simplicity in the fact that your main attack, which is your light attack, is your main source of damage, and you use this frequently by pressing your X button on Xbox. But where things really get mixed up and get interesting is where you have your spells and your staff stances. Now, creating combos with your light attacks as well as your spells and using your staff stances is really something that makes this combat engaging, fluid, and incredibly fun. The bosses in this game aren't a pushover either. They are exceptionally tough. From the onset, I wanted to approach the game as I would any Souls game out there, but I found early on that there is zero parry in this game. So what you're really focused on here is having a rhythm, but it isn't as straightforward as a Souls game. Souls games, I could watch the hands, I could watch the body movements, and maybe I'll be able to get a perfect dodge, a perfect parry. Here within Black Myth Wukong, it seems like I have to get into the flow of combat with a boss to really understand their moveset and being able to dodge those effectively. So it's almost like I had to relearn my skills when it came to facing bosses in this game. Spamming dodge just simply wasn't an option. Here I had to focus on my timing and using my abilities at the right moment and really trying to find an opening where I could land an attack, making those brief moments where you're at a standoff with your enemy, both pacing side to side, even more impactful and cinematic. But as I progressed in the game and the enemies got tougher, I wanted to step it up. And how I did that is the foundation of the combat itself, and that is the systems. Coming from a Souls-like background, a lot of the systems in this game was familiar. We had the typical stuff here. You would rest at a shrine. When you rest there, you would revive all of your enemies, but you could recover your health and your abilities. But it was the other elements of the systems that really made the game stand out for me. In the game, I had 3 staff stances. Each staff stance itself had a skill tree that I could update to make that staff stance even better. On top of that, if I defeated certain enemies, I would acquire spirits. These spirits allowed me to transform into that enemy for a brief moment and use those abilities against my enemy. Being able to do this while navigating combat and trying to find the right moments to execute is something that made the combat scenarios that I was in immensely satisfying when I pulled them off correctly. With all that the game gives you, it really allows you to tailor your playstyle towards the boss or enemy that you're fighting. Some of the gear that I picked up allowed me to have a little bit of bonuses when I was fighting in water. Other pieces of gear complemented some of of the spells that I had. It made them even more powerful. So approaching an enemy or an area and figuring out what would work best really was a game inside the game itself. And it's something that had me hooked from start to finish. But this just leads me to the bigger question, the question that many people may ask. Was this game worth the wait? And I'm gonna have to say without a doubt, yes, this game was entirely worth the wait. Aside from the fact that this game has one of the best opening sequences that I've experienced in gaming thus far, you really feel as if you are on a journey as the destined one. Navigating trails, searching areas, defeating enemies. Black Myth Wukong simply has a lot to offer. And if you take it up on that offer, you will not find yourself disappointed. Based on what I've experienced from this game thus far, I understand why people are in love with it. I understand the praise, and I understand why it was crowned Game of the Year at several events during 2024. So final verdict, short answer, yes. Black Myth Wukong is entirely worth your time. I give this one a certified buy right here. It's flashy, it's fun, it's incredibly addicting, and the story and environments are well worth the price of admission. But that is all from me, so if you're just now diving into Black Myth Wukong on Xbox like I am, I want to hear from you. What surprised you the most? What was your build? Drop a comment and let's talk. Outside of that, be safe out there because there's danger around every corner in Black Myth Wukong. Later.